So I cannot actually remember if I've ever made a video on this show this close, but as I've started to watch the remainder of Austin Nichols' acting catalog, because it's about time I watch him in something other than One Tree Hill over and over, it has come to my attention that he actually is in season 2 of This Close. My friends, my acquaintances made the show, and I've seen season 1 and I loved it, but apparently I had not seen season 2, or at least the majority of it. Because I did see the episode that Shep shows up on, but it didn't occur to me that Shep is Austin Nichols. So now it's a double whammy that I can talk about the show itself because of its depthness and representation, and also because my favorite actor is in it. If you don't know what This Close is, it is a show that lasted for 2 seasons on Sundance, and it is about 2 deaf people who are best friends, Michael and Kate. They are best friends and they're basically navigating through life as 2 deaf people in Los Angeles. They have their own separate lives, they're going through love and breakups and just all this stuff. And they canceled it after season 2. And it's such a shame. All of season 1 was written by Josh and Shoshana. For season 2, I'm not exactly sure because I didn't pay attention to the credits, but from interviews, season 1 was written entirely by Josh and Shoshana, and they play the main roles that they wrote. Both actors are deaf. Both actors are fluent in ASL. And of course, the crew that you see, the other cast members, are also deaf. You'll see quite a few familiar faces like Marlee Matlin, Millicent. It's a show that I forgot I loved so much, especially now that I am around the same age as these 2. Josh is a graphic novelist, a writer, an artist, and as a writer myself, it's fun to watch him go through that type of career and trying to find a motivation to write. He also is dealing with a lot of heartbreak and trying to find himself while he is also dealing with an addiction to alcohol and drugs. So he has an addiction to drugs and alcohol. Kate going through having a mainstream job, if you will, being the only deaf person on staff and being like that mama bear protecting her other deaf friends, especially Michael, mostly Michael, when things are happening, you know. It's a difference in dynamic between 2 deaf people because yes, both Michael and Kate are deaf because Kate speaks and signs, not necessarily at the same time all the time, but she is oral and she also signs. So that's kind of like me, although my English is better than my ASL. But if I recall correctly from the little notes here and there in her lines, she didn't grow up with ASL because obviously her parents, especially her mother, was more of or for the oralism route than the signing route or even the both route. So I see myself when I watch Kate as well, and both these people are so relatable to me. They are so dear to my heart. I'm irritated that we don't have a season 3, and it's not their fault. It's the network or whoever canceled it. I don't like you very much. It's so interesting going through Kate's relationships because I had one ex who definitely learned to sign actually the same time that I did. Neither of us became fluent during that time, but the amount of effort that was put in there was really, really nice. And that's something that I see in Shep, who was Kate's first fiance. And I will get more into my little rant about them in a minute. But my second ex was like Danny, although Danny was a little bit better, but my ex would not put in the effort to learn ASL at all. So that struggle watching Kate and Danny, especially at the point, I think it's the end of season 1 where she blows up at him saying, you know, I can't fucking understand you, it really got me in the feels. It really, really did. So when Shep comes on, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, my bias is gonna show a little bit because it's Austin Nichols playing Shep. But even if he wasn't playing Shep, it was so nice to see somebody who put in the effort. And it almost seems like he tried to maybe put in the effort even after Kate and Shep broke up. And then he definitely was putting in the effort when they were kind of coming back together. Coming back together almost seems like a loose term. They were sleeping together for a bit, and this is where I get so bummed out that Kate screwed up with Shep because she does end up having sex with Ben and Jacob, who is Michael's brother, so that had its whole big problem on its own. Shep, for me, was like the perfect human boyfriend. I mean, yes, Michael's husband Ryan put in effort, but I don't have that connection with Ryan as much as I do Shep, obviously, for very obvious reasons. But when Kate and Shep are at the diner together having breakfast or whatever after their little get together in the laundry room, when he takes out the note from, I'm assuming, high school, and he practices the note, he practices signing the note and signs it to Kate, I wanted to cry right there. Because it's one of those things where it's like, damn, I wish I had that again in my life. At the same time, I'm also very closed off to the idea of dating anybody for a very long time. But still, in a perfect world, if I could take Shep out and put him in front of me, I would be okay with that. I get bummed out about a lot of TV shows being canceled that I like, especially when you don't have any real story wrapped up. I guess at the end of season 2, it's not a total lost cause. Michael does end up going to rehab and he's practicing sobriety. Seems to be a little bit happier, although I know it's going to be a long process anyways, because it's only been like maybe a few weeks, if that, since he graduated, I guess, the program. Kate ends up pregnant by the end of season 2, and you don't know who the father of the child is. Obviously it's not Danny, because I feel like they broke up for a long enough time that it's obviously not going to be his. But Ben, Shep, and Jacob, she slept with all of them pretty much around the same time. There's no way to know. Is it Shep's baby? Is it Jacob's baby? Is it Ben's? I really hope it's not Ben's. Ben was terrible. But Kate had sex with Shep and then with Jacob like the next day or 2 days later, and then here we are. And all I want in my life is to see Michael officially be happy, especially since he had kissed another guy while being married. So what's going to happen with Michael and Ryan? I want Michael to have his happiness, because that's something that I have been wanting for so long, and I want to see somebody that I relate to have that be so possible for them. And especially with Kate, I want to know that Kate, who is now starting her new PR business because she got fired from her job, you know, she's taking matters into her own hands because mainstream society and ableism in the workplace, it's difficult, and I wanted to see her thrive in that. I wanted to see how she handled the pregnancy. I want to know who the father is. I know Shep called after she found out that she was pregnant and she didn't answer the phone, so I want to know what that conversation would have been like. At the very end, Michael and Kate are almost breaking up. They kind of do. And then they have that like very last second when they're dancing on the bar together because it's their friend-iversary. They're celebrating their friendship, and she has Michael's hand on her stomach, you know, basically announcing that, hey, she is pregnant. And that's kind of where it ends. Are they officially back together in their friendship? Are they still going to be separated? We're not gonna know that now. And that hurts me. I would even be okay if we had a follow-up movie. And so now I'm going through Shep withdrawals to the point that any character I write now is really going to be based on him. And actually one character that I am writing for either a novel or a film, I can't remember which one I'm going to stick to if I want to write it as a book. I've started both versions, a movie and a book, and I keep going back and forth on book, movie, I don't know. On the upside, more TV shows, especially on ABC and NBC, are having deaf characters. Chicago Med just had a few. New Amsterdam, Station 19. You're getting some small characters for deaf actors to take part in, but This Close was just something else entirely. Because it was written by deaf people, acted by deaf people, there's just something different about it. Obviously. And it's like, are we really gonna get that again? Obviously, deaf actors and writers in the community are making their own stuff. You know, it's nothing new. It's been happening for a while. It's happening now. Things are in production and post-production. But to have something that was on mainstream TV, like Sundance, is it as mainstream as like ABC and NBC? No, but you know, it was on cable at one point. A show created by deaf people, acted by deaf people, was on a mainstream channel. So, and it's like, when's the next time that we're gonna get that? I know it's not impossible, but damn it, if This Close could just have a third season or a follow-up movie to really wrap it up, if we can't continue it for a long time. Yeah. If you want to know where you can watch This Close, it is available to stream on, I think, Sundance. I ended up getting the AMC streaming thing through Apple TV, so I spent my free trial week watching that over and over. And I accidentally ended up paying for a month because I forgot to cancel it. But that's okay, because now I just watch it over and over again. I love Shoshana, I love Josh, I love both of their characters, I love Austin Nichols, and Shep is, again, my bias is showing, but Shep is one of my favorite characters that he's played. So if you've seen the show, let me know what you thought of it down below. I hope you miss it and love it as much as I do, and we can talk about it. If you want to know more about my thoughts on various television and films, I do write some stuff from time to time about these things on my Patreon. For as low as $1 a month, you get lots of exclusive content you won't see anywhere else, some basic miscellaneous stuff, but also actual writing from me and reviews, behind the scenes stuff, things like that. It's a way to support another DF creator, so I will have that link down below should you want to support my work any further. There is also a super chat, which is a YouTube tip jar somewhere down here, so if you don't want to go to Patreon, if you just want to do a one-time tip deal, that is also very much appreciated. For more talk on TV shows, movies, reviews, that type of thing, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads, hopefully. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you later.